The guy should be out.
Oscar 1, Delta 1. In the kitchen, in the receiving area of the kitchen, there's 2 lorries with the driver still in the vans. They should actually evacuate and attend to the helipad, the assembly point, over and out.
Let us go this way. Come. Come this way.
I need help.
Come.
Help, please.
Come, let us go this direction. Exit is here. Come. Come, please. This way. This way. Belum direkod. Bener kok.
Hiyo lori imegonga hapa. Iko hii kitu hapa. So chini ya maji Wacheni kupita chini ya maji, wacheni wapite.
Pole.
Na si hapa kuna kazi.
Ana msaidiana side hapo. Hapo mahali kwa ni kwa ile pale. Ndio utajikuta na namba sita. Namba? Namba goti kwa hapo kanda. Utagadi kwa reverse. Da.
Hata wao hawajapewa nini. Fine.
Haya basi.
Where's your stretcher?
Who is the stretching it?
Daktari. Tafadhali wewe. Ndio tunaokoa sawa. Wait. Then, okay, let's go. Wheelchair iko wapi? Ndio wheelchair haraka.
Baba unafaa kufa bwana. Yule jamaa anafaa kufa, asiangalie kamera.
Kipende. What's the night out? We are getting out, eh? Bro, I was 3 years.
Good
Sorry, sir. We're not to the hospital. The hospital we have you already.
Yeah, that's good.
Tukifika hapo, I don't think it's
It ought to be like those who make the placards should be one line. Huh? That's one line, so the others come and line behind them. But for the better part of it, for the success. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you very much. So I think with that, the people who are lining, I think to marshal all the different cadres of staff, I believe you've gotten that very positive feedback. So thank you for that. We kept time, so that was very good. So thank you for that, and we appreciate your service. I know you risk life and limb every day to protect us, so thank you for that. Next will be the team from, I don't know, are you together? Thank you. Thank you, sir. Introduce yourself first and then
Yeah, my name is Joseph Nyerere. I come from KTF. I have just one or two observations. One is you have to keep on checking your systems. What do I mean? Your alarm systems, because they allow one to fail anytime. Okay? Next is you have to restructure the parking sheds so that you ease the mobility of vehicles of a such incident when it happens. I think I have that. You have anything?
My name is Santo Kamau. I'm the fire brigade from Kawa. My observation is that alarm is vizuri, watu wanasipoli vizuri. That's a plus. There is just one point for safety. Your floor doesn't cooperate with what you do. What do I mean? The floor from the reception up the stairs up to the top of the building is slippery. In case we inject just a gallon of water, nobody will come out of that floor. The floor is so slippery. So to my observation, mweke carpet ambayo sio slippery. In case of anything, everybody can move out. Kama kungekuwa na live fire, na tuwe tunasema tutatumia maji. So hiyo maji itamwagika kwa floor. What will happen na wale watu ambao watakuwa maintain in the building? So mtu hajui kama kuna maji, anakuja na speed zake kanyaga, na slip down. Atagonga wapi? Nobody knows. So kama tunaweza weka hizo footpaths ziwekwe carpet, hata ukikanyaga atakuwa na maji ziweze slip. That's all.
Thank you very much for that observation. I believe I saw engineer here, and I'm not sure that operations, any department of operations is here. But what we are getting is, even if it's not the whole floor, this should be a section, a strip, where a carpet is installed, such that if there is water, I can see risk manager there. So I think it's been addressed to you, so that there wouldn't be any iatrogenic injury as people rush. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it. We really appreciate your service. There's people from the county council. Somebody from county council, I believe, is here. Thank you, sir.
Good morning. My first observation was at the parking near the entrance of the building. The parking was
was blocking the fire engines when they were entering. So you check on that. Building, you call the fire brigade or NCC fire brigade late, 20 minutes after the alarm. So you check on the timings of calling the responders.
Thank you. So again, congratulations. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your service to the county and to Kenya. From the Nairobi Hospital side, our communicators should really communicate immediately. From the command center, we never had the alarm. Actually, from the screens, we saw people being evacuated. People were walking. So let me give my observations first, and then we can release our. You never talked. You haven't talked. Sorry.
Good morning. My name is Kennedy Etienne from Wells Fargo. My one observation to the fire marshals, at least they were in every floor, but we were just quiet. At least we were supposed to shout in asking, is there anybody here? Like, for example, mtu anaweza kuwa amejifungia kwa choo na moto imetokea. Hajui ni nini inaendelea. Sasa sisi tuko tu hapo, tunangoja watokee kwa stairs. Tunafaa tuulize kama kuna mtu. Ufungue choo, mtu ako ndani. Ama pengine mwingine amezirai, fungua uone kama kuna mtu amezirai, tuone vile tutamsaidia. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's a very important thing. As a medical doctor, when we do like resuscitation, it's supposed to shout, and you're supposed to. There is nothing, and even when you're doing an exercise, just shout and don't be shy. Your shouting can actually save a life. Very few my personal observations before I release our stakeholders. Major. Through my senior colleague, Major Guido, who thank you, Major, for organizing this. You can hear me. Thank you for organizing this exercise. Do you have anybody from the National Disaster Management? Sure. A brief one. Thank you, sir. And we also have some stakeholders who attended. Thank you very much. We'll come to you shortly. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I'm John Waroy from the National Disaster Management Unit. We have instructions to start with the positive things. Good. First, I'd like to commend the Incident Commander. Where is she? Incident Commander? That was a job well done. In emergency management, you all agree with me that command and control is everything. So there was command and control, and that was a job well done. So some things that you might need to improve. Top on the list is vigor. The fire marshals, by show of hands, where are the fire marshals? I have information that those who are in the building did a really nice job. But those people who are managing the fire assembly point, you have to improve. You need to see vigor, we need to see agility, and we need to see movement. And another positive is media management. I could see we had designated people who were taking photos. In some other places, everybody becomes a journalist. Here it was coordinated. So that's a plus for you. And many other things you did well. And at the fire assembly point, as my colleague said, we need to improve. As I said, we are from the National Disaster Management Unit. We were a big team, we were evaluators, and right along we will do a comprehensive report, which in 1 week's time, it will be ready and we will handle the management. Thank you so much.
Before you go, you said the fire marshals at the assembly point. Do you have any pointers for the fire marshals at the assembly point? You said there's some job they need to do and improve. Anything you would suggest?
Specifically, the way people are supposed to line up, it should be in a straight line. single file, one person behind the other. And there was a bit of disorganization. The fire marshals are supposed to make sure that they count all the people and they establish whether we have anyone missing, and they go and report to the incident commander. We did see that happening, but I'm sure this can be improved next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate your feedback. Thank you very much, sir. Next, we have somebody from or a group from the Nairobi Women's Hospital. They responded to our call. Please give us your feedback. Thank you very much for your taking the time to come here.
Good morning. Cecilia Moga is my name, Safety, Health and Environment Officer. I was based at the kitchen area, and my only observation is that it took time for us to hear the alarm. So we started chatting, not knowing if there is fire somewhere else. Maybe that's the only, we need to integrate our systems and make sure that we start at the time we had decided at 8, we waited up to 8:17 to start.
Thank you very much for that very important feedback. From the incident command center, from the screens, we could see the kitchen. When everybody else was being evacuated, the kitchen was still, again, very oblivious of what was going on. And we never had the alarm either. So most likely you never had the alarm too. So that's a gap you've identified, and we'll work on it. Mater Hospital.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Romeo Ohunya. I'm the Accident Emergency Coordinator. I came here to see and to learn, and I see a lot of good things. One, we had a lot of good response from the first responders, as well as the fire marshals. They were able to shout fire, for those who were in my floor, I was in the second floor, and they were able to extradite everyone who was in the building. But now, maybe something to add in terms of the fire marshals. Maybe we could consider placing, or if not using, some of the equipment that is available to you, including some of the fire extinguishers. So some of them did be used, and that would really help in terms of controlling and reducing the damage from the fire. And the last thing maybe I'd like to say is that the exit was very good, the control. Patients were sent to the correct area, the ambulances arrived well. But I think one of the challenges we got was that there was still entry of vehicles into Nairobi Hospital, and some of which came and blocked some of the areas where the fire brigade and the police and any other first responders should have come. So the security team can work on whenever they have an alarm, in terms of any part of the hospital, they should stop any entry, first to reduce the number of casualties that might be incidental, as well as to help the first responders.
Thank you very much. That's very good feedback. We did notice that from our command center, from the screens. So that's directed to operations and major, and I believe you're equal to the task and you're able to address that. Last but not least is our the gentle giants, Kenyatta National Hospital, our partner, our veritable partner, who always comes to our backing. Representative from KNH.
Thank you. Morning, everybody. Congratulations to all of us. A positive that I noted was a very well coordinated, good stakeholder engagement. Without stakeholder engagement, inakuwa ngumu to deal with the incident. So I just want to appreciate all the stakeholders who are here. And then some of the things that I noted that need improvement was one. We were in the second floor, the legal side. The fire sensors were not working. I actually saw a fire marshal passing the smoke generator around, and it was not sensing. So that is an area of improvement.
Number two, when I came outside, I saw the boiler smoke. So I didn't know the real smoke against the boiler smoke. They were all coming out at the same time. And then number three, I don't know if anybody noted, but there was a petrol tanker that was very near where the fire truck were positioned. And I think the proximity to the fire was close. So maybe next time it's an area of improvement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a very major operations manager. There's a truck that comes there every other third day or second day, depending on electricity outage. They deposit fuel. That's on the parking of Anderson. So perhaps we need to also coordinate with their operations. Anytime there's a fire, the truck should not come all at all. So that's very important. We have Nairobi University Dental School who assisted us. Feedback from you? For our stakeholders, we're almost done. So it's another 5 minutes, we're done. Thank you, sir.
Good morning. My name is John Muponga from the University of Nairobi, and dental school just across the road. I just have one observation, because the rest I had at least have been pointed out. There was a lot of, I knew some funny disobedience of instructions. As we were telling people not to re-enter the building, some of your senior staff, and I think that is the reason I let it go. Somebody very senior said that you had already told him that this was a mock, and he doesn't see the reason he should be denied entry to the building. So I think from your cameras you know who that is, and it is really pathetic. Thank you.
Rest assured, exercise should be taken seriously by all and sundry. It saves life and limb. Mr. Guido, Major Guido, we will go through the CCTV and we will address very politely but firmly whoever transgressed, because that is not, even the Act allows us to do drills, and anybody who goes contrary to that can face censure one way or another. So we'll do it politely but firmly. So thank you for that. Last but not least, Data Line International, and that will be it for our stakeholders. We'll keep you longer. Data Line International. Oh, amen, amen. It blast us. But it also gives us good feedback.
Good morning. Good morning. I answer to the name Stephen Wambiri. I'm impressed. It's an improvement from the one we did at is it West Eastleigh. It is a tremendous improvement. But I'm not going to try and mince my words, because I want you to be the center of excellence. That was one major gap that gentleman has just seen. It is pathetic for somebody to take the drill as a joke because they're senior. Now, even if you're a doctor, you're going to your unit, whom are you going to treat there? And everybody else has been evacuated. That's one. Now, the other one is the fire marshals did a great job, but something that needs improvement would be at the accommodation for the kids. Students. Those rooms should be open. There were doors which were locked. Yes, they should be closed, but they should be open so that the fire marshals can go through and confirm there is nobody inside. Right? Then there is one floor that no fire marshal did a sweep. I think it was floor 1, first floor. Nobody did a sweep. The other thing that I noted is that once everybody is out, after confirmation that everybody is out, please let us not lose our fire marshals and our security men. Once they have confirmed their flow is clear, even them they are supposed to evacuate. Let's not leave them there. Another thing that needs improvement, aspect of communication, and I think this we covered in Hicks. Let's avoid using coded messages. Because those people who are listening to the communication need to know what is being communicated and to who it is being communicated to. Another needs improvement, activation. As we have said, the alarm. For Anderson, actually it came so late that it's the fire marshals who now are walking around with the megaphones, activating that alarm. What else? Announcement, communication, yes. Elevators. That is my last comment. Elevators are supposed to be on one floor and all of them are supposed to be off. No elevator should be on. So if they are on ground floor, they should be on ground floor and all of them open so that there is no access. If you leave them on, somebody will forget and they will get in there and then they will get locked in. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. This is the team, gentlemen, that trained us in Hospital Incident Command, and have been our veritable partners all along, so we thank you for that. Any other stakeholders who I left out? Okay. Now, I know some of the sound stakeholders had mentioned that you were in a rush to leave. We had tea and refreshments. After this. If you're in a rush, yeah, please have refreshments. Leave it in the atrium. Just down the hall, the first door to your left. But if you could wait just for 1 minute to listen to us, that's fine. But if you're in a rush, we know you are doing a wonderful service for the country. We wouldn't want to keep you here any longer. But feel free, there's refreshments, or you can wait for a while and listen to what we have to say. Major, may I hand to you now? To get the feedback from the rest of the group. All the feedback I mentioned, I think it's been mentioned before. Elevators, the people were walking down very casually. The alarm never went off. So all the things that I wanted to point out have been pointed out. Major, over to you.
Thank you very much. Our hospital incident commander is the hospital incident commander. Njugunda is the incident commander. There's a difference between incident commander and hospital incident commander. The entire responsibilities lies with the hospital incident commander. Thank you very much, Dr. Leden. And is there any other external stakeholders that is left behind? If we have forgotten anybody? Thank you. For Wells Fargo and the duty team, in case if you have other assignments, please, teams are near the atrium. You can be guided on where you need to take tea. Please, come on, Madam Konakazi. The space is there. At this juncture, I now invite the internal stakeholders to give us their input. Maniki, just leave the team for tea.
One in 2021, and they were clear that when we were assembling the other at the parking lot Anderson entrance. For me, there was a really short alarm. It was very faint where I was at my office. So definitely that's something we work around to improve. I noted, of course, there were marshals all over directing people. There was a shouting of fire, which was useful. And we were directed all the way to the assembly point, which is a positive thing. I am concerned that the alarm went off around 8:15, and the fire engine was arriving at 33 minutes, around 8:33. That for me was something I noted. And I think the other things have been pointed out, of course, the entire architecture and the accessibility of the emergency vehicles and all that. So those are two issues. Of course, fire alarm is one, and I think a couple of other things is other people. But generally, I think it went well. I like to look back also at the notes I took in 2021, but fairly I saw a great improvement for this time around, and I probably think it was well organized. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer. Just to elaborate on what he has said in terms of the gaps, and also what other stakeholders have indicated, the volume was low, and this is a wake-up call to all of us, because the aim of us doing this drill, it is to test the systems that we have. These are the overhead speakers, the one that you are seeing on top. These are the overhead speakers, and on the kitchen side, because they might not be having the speakers or it's faulty, that is the wake-up call to all of us to make sure that we service those equipments and to make sure that everything is working in progress.
The other thing is that the assembly was the best place.
Yes. Thank you. Next stakeholder, Audrey. Karibu.
I was an observer. I was stationed at the Anderson Clinic on the first floor. As we began the drill, I think the incident commander made the announcement at 8:05, but the alarm went on at 8:15. I think that was 10 minutes after, but that has been mentioned by various. So I keep highlighting the positive things that were done. As they went around the clinic, they checked to ensure that all windows were closed. Apart from one window near the sister in charge office, I believe that was slightly left open. They put off all the lights as we got to the end of inspecting the rooms. As patients tried to come in, there was a guard and he had a tape, the black and red tape, the white and red tape, sorry. And that was used to demarcate the area that the patients should not come in, and they were redirected to a different point. One thing we noted, some of the electronics were left on. The TV at the waiting station was left on. I think one of the things that we're required to do is turn off the electronics as we exit the building. Doors and windows were closed. All rooms were checked. Doors were left unchecked, unlocked. The fire extinguisher was taken to location because there was no actual fire. We didn't actually move around the fire extinguisher. Yeah. The other key thing to note, at the fire assembly, we noted that the gym team did not have a placard, and the staff were not really identifying which department they belonged to, but they had a list that they were checking against. For the strategy department, I think that department houses strategy, Dr. Kiare, legal. It was quite squeezed, and they were all using one list, and it was not easy for anyone walking in to identify which point they should go to. For the support staff, I believe the communication was for them to be based with the team that they actually support. So the convention center support staff were lining up against the catering team, but they didn't seem to be very clear about that. So next time that communication could be done a bit more clearly. We checked with a few. The students reported that their roll call had been done. I spoke to a few patients. They reported that they were actually shown the way out of the building as the drill proceeded. So that is the feedback from the observer team on the first floor.
Thank you. Thank you.
At least we know that casualties were evacuated and treated and even transferred to A safely. The one who took longest actually took 10 minutes. The only thing that we actually noted, and this is something that we can be advised, the people who are outside at the assembly point, you could not know what is happening. Like we didn't even hear any communication, any alarm, and even in terms of that communication from inside, we didn't know what was happening. So when we had the fire was at 8:05, and the first casualty was actually at 8:16 a.m. But the color coding for the patients was appropriately done. We had yellow and red and green, and they were handled very well. One of the things is that there was issues about traffic control. The ambulance was being driven away, then they were blocked by the fire engine. So in terms of coding that area and making sure that you control the traffic, and also our security, we didn't see most of them around that area. We saw people walking to the triage, but they were not patients, and so they had to be redirected to the assembly point by the same people who are taking care of patients. So I think that's an area we can work on. And then we didn't have any coaches for the patients to lie on as they were waiting to be transferred. One positive, very positive thing about the triage is that they actually had a very good way of monitoring their patients, the ambulance, the times they have come. They even have charts that are quite color-coded to say the time the ambulance came in, and also who was taken away and the number of patients who came in. Now, when it came to the incident command, I don't know what happened inside, but we took time to identify where the incident command post was, because there was no signage, and all the people who were on the incident command post included the operations officers, who are two, and the safety officer, the public information officers. So the incident commander is the one who was communicating most of the time, but we didn't hear communication from the others, but they used the radios and the telephones. But something that we noted is that their jackets were not labeled. So some had observers, others had fire marshals, apart from the incident command. So maybe we could have a clearly easily identifiable incident command post. I think that is it. The others have already been mentioned.
Thank you very much, Nicole. The several ones that you've had before, even the one at the East Wing, and I feel this was very well coordinated. People knew their roles and what they are supposed to do. At the cafeteria, we didn't hear the alarm. We saw people through the window going to the fire assembly, and eventually we heard the overhead, and it was so loud that the people inside, they didn't need to use the phone for informing the staff. Everybody could hear it very loud and clear. So everyone evacuated in an orderly manner, and we came behind, just first of all checking that everything is okay. But as we walked down the stairs, we met a student who was coming to eat. And so the student was asking, what is happening here? Are we not going to be served breakfast? You know, and then so I wondered, where did this student pass
because everybody had already evacuated their house, we were the last ones. So I wondered, because when we walked out, we found some people directing us to the fire assembly. So that student must have passed them and entered and going to eat. So I think our coordination in terms of safety, making sure that what is happening, everyone is safe, I think that is very, very important. That we really remember that apart from us, there are other people who might have no idea about what is happening. Because we had to persuade her to get out. You see, and the whole cafeteria had been evacuated. So I think, a bit of coordination. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther.
I think we had Dr. Home and we also had Mr. Wakaba who has given some report. But my observation is probably 2 or 3. One is that if you are inside, inside the strategy section, legal, and the lights go off, because obviously when the alarm goes off, then the lights go off. If I'm a visitor, I will just burn inside there, because there is no direction, there is no illumination until out of the door. So that was one area that and maybe probably because I've been doing facility inspection, probably it was already observed. But at least today I saw with the lights off, I could not get out. If you are in the toilet, you can't get out. If you are inside, the lights go off, you can't get out. That was one. And once you get to the door, you need to try to look to be able to see where the exit routes are. And then the alarm, even the overhead speaker, we could not hear. We only heard when the marshal came shouting. That's when we knew that actually there is fire. So there is nothing. And then number 3, we don't have smoke detectors in that particular section. And if they are there, they are dead. But we looked around, we did not see any smoke detectors. And I think that's where the fire was. That's where the smoke was. And it could not be detected. Then I expected the fire marshals to at least move with their fire extinguishers as they go to put off the fire, but they were left in their stations. So I don't know what they were going to use to fight the fire. That's one area we need to improve on. But at least the marshal made sure that she swept the floor, checked everywhere to ensure that everybody has gone out. We had sections that had electricity left on. We had the printers and the computer in the section of the legal. And then Dr. Kiaria's office, we had an open window, we had lights on, and we also had a power on. Other than that, I think most of the other things were done well. Of course, when I was exiting, I found a casualty. I think he just saw me coming and he decided to collapse. And that's the one we were calling for help for about 6 minutes. So I thought that was a little long because he was very badly, severely injured, and it took very long for him to be attended to. So there we need to work on that. Other than that, I think everything else has been mentioned. The report will be given. Thank you.
Thank you. And also making sure that all is aligned as expected. Jessica Shiraku, karibu. I know you.
Hi everyone, this was well done. I just have 2 observations that I noted. The alarm had already gone off and there was 2 security men on 8th floor. I think one was changing with the other one. So they kept calling each other, where are you, where are you? When this one came, although we are not supposed to go to the lift, he went to the lifts and went downstairs. That is one thing that I noted. The other important thing is the evacuation chair. I think the people who are using it were not really versed with it. There's a time when it had actually it couldn't move and they were struggling to see if they could open it up so that it can move. And that now caused a traffic jam for the people who are now coming down. So that is something we also need to look at, how to train people on how to use the evacuation chair.
The other one was the laxity of some of the students from leaving their rooms. There was even one student who left long after the others, and she just took it like everything is casual. She was walking like there's nothing that has happened. She went back and again locked her door, then went out. Then, of course, what the other people observed about some of our senior staff walking up the stairs, and then when we told them, please don't come up, said, no, I'm taking my things up. I'll come back later. He's carrying a big bag with somebody following. They are taking things up to the office, then coming back. Those were my main observation. Otherwise, everything was okay. But when we came down here, there was somebody, a man with a piki-piki, carrying a very big sack, which, in real sense, you wouldn't know whether that is something that they want to throw into the fire to make the fire more. So the man kept going round, nobody stopped him. I think we were with Kigera that time. And after that again, he went round and then was going. Nobody really looked what he was carrying, where he was going and what he was doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. For the points about level 4 and 5, I know Dr. Rani is there. We also capture the sample in the report, and the same report will be shared for us to improve. And this is mostly about the doctors at level 4 and 5.
Only one doctor's clinic staff came back to lock the door. They were very much concerned whether their things are safe. They left, then she came back to close the door. So 2 doors were closed, the rest were left open. And from aerial view, at 8:38, the staff from Green City was still working at the correction point that is downstairs, and whereas everybody else was evacuated. Thank you.
When we had the alarm on time and they moved out in orderly manner, and what I didn't observe is the rest of the fire marshals. The head fire marshal was very organized. He announced, checked around if everybody has gone out, which was done very well. The only negative is that they didn't sweep the floor and they did not switch off the light. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sabala.
When this session started, I actually had my 5 points. Unfortunately, everyone was speaking to my point. I wondered, I'm sad, kidogo. So substantially, I do not have any subtractions or additions, save for an inquiry. I was at the main entrance. I heard someone say that I have an emergency, so I have to get in. So my inquiry was, how do we deal with a confluence of emergencies when there is fire? So how do we manage such a situation? Thank you.
Thank you. And
was the former chair of yesterday's fire drill in Kenyatta National Hospital, at least to sense what years. But mine is very, very, very brief. From KNH, we are very proud of this exercise. It has been very well coordinated. It was so good as a learning point. Mine was not even about how we are doing things, because I've attended this before, but it was more coordinated. It was about the whether we are able to extinguish fire using the machines we are inviting. It was okay. Now, I've also listened to 3 incidences. Is this thing? In all these things we have observed, I've had 3 incidences. In these 3 incidences, I always think in terms of disaster. I want to assume that those people who are coming back to the building, maybe they had a sense of hard of hearing. Did we think of as somebody to interpret on what is happening? Maybe this bicycle person analeta vitu zake kawaida. Ajui yeye anaona na yeye anaendelea. Labda hakuwa anasikia. How do we take care of that? I'm also putting it across all of us. It is our constitution to take care of people living with the disabilities. So next time, let's think of these other things. Some of us, even staffs, we don't have the hearing sense, or we have hard of hearing, but we wanted to hide it because of stigma. Hello? Yes, so it's also good also to be thinking on that in that line. Let's not assume everything is okay. Like we are not assuming all of us, everything is okay. A disaster can happen anytime, any type of disaster. So for these few remarks, I would want us to also think of that. If we don't have sign language interpreters, it's the high time we need to maybe train 2-3 people in the event that anything is happening, can be moving around with the people who are moving, they are showing people what is supposed to be done. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Polly.
I was at the Emergency Command Center. I had a team of 4 who have done an excellent job. Actually, we need to appreciate them, because for some of the things that have happened, they were able to intervene from where they were and measures were taken to place. So I'll not recap what has been said, but of concern is that when we are having such an exercise, we need to incorporate each and everybody who is with us. Given that we had the Green City, when everybody was evacuated, when we magnified the camera, the Green City staffs were actually still in their truck. So in the event that was a real fire, they actually would have been consumed, and the truck was parked just next to the gas cylinders that supply the catering department. So as we are evacuating, we need to make sure that our co-opted partners are also part and parcel of that. And then we tried accessing the switchboard, and up to now we are waiting for the response. So we hope that we'll get a response from the switchboard. And then in terms of control of access, even when we had everybody evacuated, we still were left with some people who are strolling to some of the buildings, and those of course could be casualties given that there was a real fire. And then we have the fire marshals. After they have evacuated everybody, now they were left manning the floors themselves, and they'd actually they may form some of the statistics. We had a gardener who was working at the fire exit, at the laundry fire exit. So everybody evacuated and was actually evading him, and he continued doing his work. So that gardener, if that was a real fire, could actually be one of our casualties. And then at the entrance to Anderson, when the fire engine people were trying to access that place, you get the fire marshals were still there. So they may actually turn out to be blocking the area, whereas the fire engine people are rolling their tubes to go in and put up the fire. And then at the assembly point, there are a number of departments that have called off by themselves. They did not wait for the commander to actually call off. So by the time we were arriving there, actually they had taken off. And then from the gym, I think we did not see their placard, even when we magnified. So we did not know how many instructors or how many gym people were there. So those were my comments.
Thank you, Beatrice.
That one we did deliberately. 2 fire agents were to attend to Anderson building. The one that went on a different direction was to attend the kitchen building. Yeah.
Thank you. We had 3 fire engines, G4S, County Fire, and the one for D.
Mine is to respond to Sister Kanyoro about the position. Well, we first received a phone call from Anderson Center. The phone call originated from a staff called Dawn. We made the initiative to give as requested, and the phone call was being rerouted back. There was no response. I advised my team and we went ahead with our communication, and we were able to contact G4S through the contact number that was available. We subsequently contacted Wells Fargo, who responded, but we had a challenge reaching Nairobi City Engineer. However, I was privileged to see their engineer on site. Thank you.
Installed the emergency shut-off, but I observed that nobody actually shut it off. They all went out, wakaniacha peke yangu. I'm the one who was clearing the area.
Thank you.
Stationed to start the fire, but I was not happy because I didn't manage to have a lot of smoke. I normally like drills which have a lot of smoke, but nevertheless we did what we could. And I don't want to go back to the points that have been raised here. I think there are a lot of observations that you people have discussed here. And we would request that you do those points on email so that we can be able to consolidate the report. But one key thing is that when we started the fire, and I think that point has been mentioned, the marshals started shouting there is fire even before we started the smoke. So I didn't know how they got the information. So as I was going outside and I was telling my guy we start the smoke, then I met people evacuating and I wondered where has that one come from. Actually, I also found that some of the observers already trying to see whether the area has been. But overall, I think we have done very well. From the way we initiated the drill, the way we communicated the alarms to be started, and we had one failure there because some of the areas really do not have the alarms, or rather if they are there, they didn't start. And also the detectors, they didn't activate the alarm as we would have expected. I liked the way we walked through the evacuation routes, but there was no urgency per se, even when you were reaching the assembly point, and there was no that urgency which could tell you that we are really evacuating and we want to account for the people so that we can know who is missing and we can be able to go back to the areas or communicate to the incident commander the people who could be missing from the assembly point. I really liked the driving of our ambulances and the triage. I think triage was well done, and the coding of the patient. Though some of our critical patients were smiling as they were being put in the ambulances. But the coding was good, and I think also somebody has mentioned about the chatting, which was also well done. I don't want to go back to a point, but which is very key, when the external responders came, the receiving and directing them accordingly. We had a gap there, and especially for the guy who came to near the catering block, the direction were not well given, and therefore the responders might not be able to know where they need to go. And also that feedback needs to be taken to the incident command, so that the incident command could know the resources that leadership is having and whether they are having gaps. So finally, make sure you give me your report on email so that I can be able to consolidate internally, and I will do it within the next 1 week. So by Friday, a day like this, we shall have the entire report. Thank you very much, and well done, everybody.
Has coordinated it seamlessly. That is a very good and excellent job to the incident commander. We need to clap for her for that good job done. If you are given these 2 sites, being the incident commander, keeping in mind that how big it is, the Anderson building, incorporated with the specialty clinic, First of all, Dr. Dede, thank you very much for handling the issue about the doctors, the admitting doctors, because they were cooperating apart from the small issues, but those are part of the process. The teaching building, we have several HODs there. We have several fire marshals there. The maintenance team, the laundry team, all being handled by one incident commander. It is a massive scope, not a massive really, but she had managed it the way it's supposed to be. That's the reason why we might find 1, 2, 3 gaps in terms of activation because of the gaps that we have using our overhead speakers, but still it is a very good job. Before I give to the hospital incident commander to finalize, I now take this time to invite our only incident commander to come and address us and give us wise guidance. Karibu Margaret Juguna.
Thank you. Major is trying to appease me because we've been fighting. That he's putting me to wear gumboots when I'm a size 2. But all the same, where's Miss Wambugu? This one, please stand, they see you. Immaculate. Yeah. At some point I had given up, she told me we are doing it. Because I remember Tuesday when it was declared Wednesday is a holiday. On Wednesday I actually woke up in my sleep at around 5 a.m. and I thought I had forgotten the drill. But I want to appreciate all of you, even I am still seeing our friends from Nairobi Women's, our newfound Pauline, thank you so much. We appreciate all of you for all the support. We had 5 objectives for this drill. We wanted to evacuate the whole of the 2 buildings within 10 minutes. We have missed that because of the alarm issues, but all the same we were able to evacuate. Also, we wanted to provide medical services to the injured during the evacuation building within 15 minutes. Let's appreciate our medical team. ADNSGD, Dr. Abaya Kigera, very well done. Then we needed to manage and stabilize the incident through firefighting within 30 minutes. I think we achieved this. Very well done. And also we wanted to ensure business continuity by redirecting our patients. Probably by the time the team that was in EOC was coming, that's why we had decided that there are some teams we need to release, they continue and carry on with the day's care. And at the same time, we needed to account for everybody. Something to note that we have also picked is we had some employees who are in for induction and nobody had picked them. So Mrs. Sirima found them now a bit not sure what to do, but they were now accounted for. So as an institution also we are noting that even if you hear an exercise is for this building, I believe our partners in the corporate building should have alerted us that we have people on induction so that we are able to account for them. Also good to appreciate at least we had Professor Masharia even fronted the fire marshal from the clinic, that is Nairobi ENT, Prime Care as well, and Dr. Kigama and Mr. Baraza. So we appreciate that those people for supporting us for that. And they've actually, one of the message from the consultant is that they would want to see of this more. I hope they will facilitate. And they actually have noted that they need their staff trained for that. So thank you very much. It was an exercise successful because of your individual support. And thank you for taking my instructions. Today I had the opportunity to even instruct my boss. And so, thank you very much. And at this point, I want to welcome our HIC to come over and close this for us. Let's clap for him.
recognize my Deputy Incident Commander, though you had a different role today, David Abaya. I don't know whether you're here today. Thank you very much for everything. From the command site, we had an overview of everything. There was about a split screen of 20 small frames. So looking at everything, I think it was done very well. But now the granular work, the granular feedback came from what you just had in the foregoing discussion. So well done, team. Gaps have been identified. The whole purpose of this exercise is to identify the gaps such that going forward we can continuously improve on it. It's very expensive to do this regularly, so please, what we learned from this today, let's take it at heart and let's continuously improve. Well done, team. Well done, Major Guido. You've worked tirelessly for this. Well done, the guys who harassed us from Data Links. You really pushed us and made us great people. So kudos to all of you. Great work from all staff who attended. Great work from our external partners who are still here up till now. We don't take you for granted. Thank you very much. Very soon to be Dr. Margaret Serima, who actually came from a leave. Well done. So thank you, everybody. I believe breakfast is served, refreshment is served. Please have a good one. Thank you.